Dr. Gardner was a trained neurosurgeon when we met, and he was in his last year of residency. So that meant that he was a senior resident and he had one more year to go before he would go out into practice. However, he knew that at the end of this year he would have to go into the Army, and he was fully expecting to do that. It was the era of the Vietnam War, and most of his buddies had either been in or were going into the Army. After his residency was completed, we had a few weeks, and then he enlisted in the Army, and he was sent to Fort Bullis for basic training, and then out to the state of Washington, Fort Lewis, Washington, for a post. 3 months after we got out there, the Army moved us back to Pennsylvania, to Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. Bag, baggage, and baby across the country again. My husband started going to work, and he found that his job did not include any surgery. The soldiers who came back to Valley Forge Hospital were there for rehabilitation and not for neurosurgery. And he was very concerned about his skills and what was going to be happening to his ability to do neurosurgery. You know, as a pianist needs to play the piano frequently to keep her skills in shape, a neurosurgeon, or any surgeon of any type, needs to do the same thing. And he was afraid of losing his muscle memory and all that kind of thing. And so he was very upset about this posting. However, as time would tell, he learned a great deal about rehabilitation. He learned all about the afterlife, after surgery, of these paraplegics and people with severe Army wounds. One of our most memorable events at Valley Forge was when a young major who was awarded the second highest Medal of Honor that is given by the Army, and a 3-star general flew in a helicopter to a meadow right next to Valley Forge Hospital, and everybody in the hospital came out to watch this young officer receive his medal. And he managed to walk. He's a paraplegic now. He managed to walk across the field through the aid of braces and crutches, and he received that medal from the 3-star general. There wasn't a dry eye in the place. Everybody was moved by this wonderful, wonderful scene. That image, I think, has stayed with us, and I know it has stayed with my husband because he has mentioned it so many times. He could really see the advantage, and that rehab was just so unique and important in a medical continuum. Starting a rehab hospital was very challenging. We found that we needed to develop a certificate of need, and this was all mired in politics, and we needed to hire a lawyer, a writer who could write the certificate of need, but we managed to do all that and get on with it, and suddenly we were having hearings. And that also was a challenge because the hearings would bring out all the people that were opposed to the project, and they would speak in terms of how bad the project was and how the area doesn't need anything like that, and it was very upsetting to hear. In fact, one night going back home with my husband, after one of the hearings, I just couldn't take it any longer, and I started to cry in frustration. And he said, "Don't worry about it. This is a good project. This is going to win. We're going to win this thing, and we're going to have a hospital." He says, "I could just feel it." And so we persevered. And after we were turned down once, and then we came back again with more statistics and more letters of support. And the second go around, we won. And the headline in the Eagle Tribune newspaper that night read, "Neurosurgeon to see dream come true, 400 jobs to be created." Today, the hospital has grown considerably, and we're now a network. There are many fine people that work here who have been here since day one, and there are many people that have spent their whole career here. I have grown to know a lot of these people almost like family. Healthcare workers are amazing people to begin with. They're very sympathetic, very dedicated, and they're just a special breed of person. And I think at Northeast Rehab we really have some of the finest people I've ever seen. I was a patient here at the hospital, so I have first-hand experience. Actually, I was here twice, and I can't say enough of how wonderful the nurses were, the therapists, and how much I progressed while I was under their care. So who would have thought that Northeast Rehab, the little hospital that opened in Salem, New Hampshire in 1984, would have grown to serve thousands upon thousands of people in the Merrimack Valley in New Hampshire. I'm just so proud to be part of an organization that helps people feel better and be better at the same time.